Hello everybody and welcome to 2013 GPVWC Super League, sponsored by IP Forge. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome you all here today to the Albert Park circuit for the IP Forge Australian Grand Prix. My name is Simon Smith. I'm going to be screaming my way through the next couple of hours. Alongside me, trying to keep me slightly under control, we've got Nick Rowland. How are you doing, Nick?
A very good evening to you, Simon, and it's wonderful to have you in the commentary box as well for this season, and it's great to be back for Super League.
Absolutely, you were treated to a stonker of a race yesterday. I was so excited, my heart was beating faster than, I don't know, a bunch of fat girls that was supposed to be an all-you-can-eat in a kebab shop. It was going nuts. Looking for more of the same this evening?
Absolutely, it was incredible last night, especially when that rain started to dump down towards the mid-race, and I think we are. There's some dark clouds overhead already. With 5.5 minutes left in qualifying, so it's going to get a bit tasty towards the end, I think. And it's currently Alex Cooper on pole position from Lucas Euler.
Absolutely, just 1/10 of a second between the two. Cooper, we was busy screaming because he'd got his first hot lap blocked, and we was wondering, because the clouds were getting so dark, that would he be able to get out before it decided to get a wee bit drizzly. But it is a Simcraft Midnight Motorsport 1-2 currently, with Carl Smith third, Tom van der Voort 4, then Lee Morris, Ruud Heasterbeek, John Paresis, Lewis Redshaw, Peter Kasser and Bart de Vos, your top 10 at the moment of this 26 strong field, and 5 minutes left to go. Obviously some massive changes that have gone on for GPVWC for this new season. We've seen the effects of them already, but chat us through some of the biggest changes that are going on here.
Well, the fundamental changes that came, as we saw in the past two nights, is the fact we've got RFE. RFE is the weather system that's been introduced, so we will see the wet conditions throughout this season. GPVWC has introduced also the wet compound tyre. They've not gone with the anticipate, but they've got the wet compound tyre. So we will see the option tyre, which is the red banded tyre, and the prime tyre, which is yellow. As well, we've just seen actually Lucas Euler's gone 1/10.5 quicker than Alex Cooper in middle sector, so he's on for pole position at the moment. So we get the variable conditions, and that's going to cause a lot of chaos, I think. And we saw at the ref test just how difficult even the monsoon conditions can be. It's very, very difficult and very, very tough to really get a lap sorted out around here.
It is indeed, as Tom van der Voort goes into third position and Lucas Euler takes
24-2 for Lucas.
Oh, over a quarter of a second up, nearly losing it out of turn one. The grip on some of these tyres, it's there, isn't it? And I see people, especially in things like turn 15, just having no disregard for the curb and going right out wide. You can really attack aggressively around this track.
Most definitely, the run-off curb, especially at the final corner, is quite generous. As the rain, I think, is starting to fall. Is it?
It is looking like it.
Looks like it. I'm just watching Lee Morris on board. He's gone to turn one. Has droplets of rain by the looks of it. Stopped again momentarily, but yeah, he's on a run at the moment. But it might start raining.
So, I mean, it's just the throw of the dice, the way how it works. I've been out of sim racing, obviously, over the winter and all a bit cold, and I was talking to my mother of all things, going, I'm commentating tonight, and do you know what? There's a new plug-in available, and she's like, what? Who with Glade? Who? And I couldn't explain just how important this plug-in is. Now, doesn't it go up and down precipitation-wise and chance of rain and things like that? How does it work?
Yeah, the percentage level is based off essentially what real life would be, and Melbourne's renowned for its intermittent, and I referred to it yesterday, 4 seasons in a day kind of weather. So we can have a downpour of rain, all of a sudden it's sunny, and we get some more rain again. So it's the nature of what it's actually like at that period of time as well, where you can set it. So
like
these
guys
are really having to battle and challenge at the moment, and it's going to be a big battle. Just seen Lee Morris on board. He's improving in time, his own time, but not on Lucas Euler. It's half second off Lucas Euler as he just comes up the final corner, head towards the line. We've got 2 minutes left of the session. He goes across the line for fifth still, but only a 10.5 or 10.75 improvement on his own time.
Absolutely, and just 7 thousandths of a second behind Dave Carr-Smith, his teammate. So closely matched those two are at the moment. Currently it's Euler from Cooper, Van der Voort, Carr-Smith, Morris, Heasterbeek, Betacasa and Jim Parisis in the Torrent Motorsport 7 and 8, then a Hawkeye 9 and 10, so it's very much Noah's Ark as the clouds continue to dark with Bruce Redshaw and Bart DeVos. Your other runners, just so that you know who they are, we've got David Gaspers in 11, Tom Parker for Woods Racing. Ryan Walker wanted me to give out a shout out to the Wood Racing guys and big them up. Tom Parker spent the entire pre-race session screaming, "I don't want to do this," because he's so worried about what's going on. But there is definitely some kind of specific groups forming in this qualifying session where you've got the Midnight Motorsports guys out front, then you've got the Nijo and Nordjorns, or Nordjorn racing cars, sorry, together. Then you've got TMO and Hawkeyes, and then there's like a big gap to the rest behind, say, the Woods and the Green Stripes maybe, with everyone else very closely matched, with just the ST racing of Mark Fuller and Miles Dixon really off the pace of the rest of the build at the moment.
Yeah, gaps that I wasn't expecting to appear quite so soon seem to have already started to emerge. It's with the Midnight boys at the front, although Van der Voort pushing quite close. That's impressive for what the Nijo's been able to do there. And the two Norwegian drivers of Dave Carr-Smith and Lee Morris are currently in 4th and 5th. Lee has, by the looks of it, finished his qualifying session, but I've noticed both those Norwegian drivers are on the prime compound, whereas the Midnight guys are on the option compound, so there's a bit of disparity between what tyres they've actually run there, and it is starting to rain with about 15 seconds left of the qualifying session.
Yeah, no one wants purple rain, brown rain, any kind of rain out on the circuit when you're in qualifying. Not a good experience at all. And that could well...
Whoa! Lucas, it was over 3 tenths up in fact, and he's hit someone there, not too sure who, but that's the front right gone from his car, and it's going to be left down to Alex Cooper by the looks of it now. He's coming around the final corner. He's only 200ths off of Lucas Euler's time. Yeah, he's going to be able to drive for the line. 24... No, he lost a lot of time in the final sectors. That rain did hurt him.
Yeah, Euler binned it at turn 3, was stationary, and then a Phoenix came round and binned him in the side. Obviously, some deciding that actually no one deserves that kind of paint scheme, and that was the end of that. It was either Boyd Bryson, I think it was Kieran Ryan actually, because Bryson's into the pits with all 4 wheels and wings on his wagon. And the clock has struck 0. Who is out there that can still do something? Carr-Smith is out there in 4th position still on the lap, but I'm not sure if he's crossed the line or not. We could have all emptied our final efforts onto the track.
Yeah, it looks like so, and it would appear that my 2 drivers anyway, Lucas and Alex, are on the front row.
So you must be a very pleased team boss.
I am absolutely ecstatic about that. That is absolutely fantastic.
Did you expect to be having a 1-2 straight away?
Well, we knew from the upgrades after looking at them what the Norwegians were capable of, and by looks at it, they were on the prime compound anyway, so we'll have to see how it works out come race. But yeah, I thought we'd get very, very close. I thought Lucas would take pole, but I'm especially ecstatic for Alex to get second.
Okay, awesome. And what would you say would be the difference between the hard and the soft compounds?
From what we've worked out, it's in and around about 0.5 to 0.6 of a second. It could be more, it could be less, depending on how the actual car works for that specific driver. But it's around about that 0.5 mark.
Okay. Wonderful. So, everyone has been chomping at the bit to get GPVWC up and running and getting us out from the off-season. How have you survived? It's been
difficult, and at times that's been difficult to keep the guys focused because they've been so raring and ready to go this season. Lucas come off the back of a championship year, but he's been so eager to get going. And obviously Alex with his promotion up, they just basically wanted to get to Melbourne and get it underway. So to keep them motivated has actually been tough at times. Just say, look guys, just keep going with those laps, and we'll be at Melbourne soon. And because I think pre-season turned into a little bit of a drag in the end because of the amount of laps you had to do across the 4 test sessions, but we're here, and I think everyone's just excited to get underway racing.
Absolutely. My off-season, having been so excitable about coming back to everything, I've actually enlisted myself in Formula Challenge. So, announcement there: Meep and the Backmarker Brigade team will be wheeling their snail shells out of retirement, and we'll be having a good old giggle. It's been an interesting off-season because it's such a nice little tight-knit community, and if you want to get involved in the action, the start of the season roughly is about the best place to do it. You can head yourself over to GPVWC.com and sign yourself up for some get-going racing action. You kind of keep in touch with everyone in an off-season, but it's not until you get back out on the track and you think, right, I'm going to have you, it all kind of comes together.
It absolutely does, and it's what it's like for a lot of these drivers, and they're preparing themselves for the start of this race. But to have the two Midnight guys on pole and second and on the front row is just absolutely wonderful. Just to speak of some of the new drivers as well, obviously Nijo Racing have recruited Tom van der Voort, who's friends with Ruud Heesterbeek. Ruud Heesterbeek turned into a bit of a star last season with what he was able to do with the Nijo Racing, but he's kind of been out-qualified by his teammate, and he sits in third place. And he's split, well, it's the Norwegian drivers of Dave Carr-Smith in front of Lee Morris, then split Ruud Heesterbeek. Norwegian Racing have had plenty going on throughout the winter season and plenty discussed about them. Dave Carr-Smith, another star of last year in what he did with the Green Stripes Racing, and the infamous Mr. Lee Morris, who is always going to be interesting to see what happens between the pair of them.
Absolutely. So we've just got 3 minutes left of the warm-up before things kick off. Any other exciting things? You finished 5th here last year. So what do you find are the main dramas and the pitfalls and the triumphs of the Melbourne circuit from your perspective?
Well, last year I had a bit of a nightmare all round. Actually, at the start was okay, but then I got it collected by what I think was one of the Red 5 cars towards the end of the race, and it dropped me backwards through the field. Unfortunately, it's probably one of my worst starts to a season I've probably had in a while. But it's a very tough track because we come to the first race of the season, and it's technically a street circuit. It's not like a Monaco or anything. But it's a street circuit nonetheless, and it's a very challenging track.
It's an anomaly for the rest, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It can suit various drivers, and certain cars come the first race as well. We've seen it in real Formula 1 as well, where the first race of the season is almost an anomaly, and you get to the next race, and all of a sudden you see a Ferrari pop up 2 seconds quicker than anything else, for example. So it's an interesting race. It's a fun race to kick off the year as well. Just have to see how the drivers are able to cope with it, and obviously with the wets thrown in and being a temporary surface or an all-round year surface used by real road cars, it's going to get very slick and slippery out there. Absolutely.
Just a question from the chat room. Remember, just below the league there is a chat room, and you're more than welcome to tweet me at Saturemon throughout the race. Rapid Scorpion says, as soon as the rain starts, does the grip go instantly, or does it kind of taper off?
It more so tapers. You still get the grip initially because even though when you get a few sprinkles of rain, you still obviously use a slick tyre and it still works okay. But as soon as that next downpour of rain comes in, it just goes all together and the front of the car will just understeer.
Okay. Okay, so my hands are chomping at the bit. I've got my beer ready. I've got snacks. We was going to do alcoholic, not popcorn, candy floss. I had a slight problem in the fact that I forgot to buy more alcohol, more in the fact that I'd already drunk what we should have or what I should have had. I have no predictions whatsoever, apart from I have a feeling that exactly 15 drivers will make it to the finish. Any predictions, Nick?
Predictions, Midnight 1-2.
Oh, you Jimmy Jam. That is filth on a stick. So let's see. Hopefully we're going to have something a little bit less Dirty Sanchez than what the previous two nights were. And yeah.
Formula Challenge was, definitely.
I Believe I Can Fly was going on last night. I've even seen, they've already done a Harlem Shake video that I've seen pop up on YouTube about it. Oh dear, hugs the community, loving that. So yeah, hopefully everyone's been off the meow mix, and we can get some decent racing action going, because I am proper excited about this. So anyone got any questions or anything, feel free to chuck them in the chat room, and we'll get to them at some point when the action quietens down, because it's bound to be absolutely filth on a stick around the first couple of laps. And you can tweet me at Toromon or at GPVWC, and I'll try and see if I can keep up with stuff on there as well. Thank you so much to everyone that's actually joined in the chat room as well. It's great to see everyone chatting away. I see some familiar names. And wow, it's just all getting their last good luck alls to everyone, where they pretend that actually they really want everyone to do well. LOL. Do you ever get kind of like a good luck everyone, but secretly actually just all go into the barrier at turn one, everyone?
I'll tell you actually what's strange to me, obviously coming off of coming second in the championship last year, it's just the fact of watching all the other drivers on track at the moment is the weirdest thing.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Okay.
I've competed for the last few years in Super League, and now to be on the sidelines watching in and commentating on it, it's a little bit of a surreal moment, because I'm watching my own car as well, with Lucas Euler and Alex Cooper in it, so it's a little bit bizarre.
Oh, so it's like seeing yourself through yourself.
Something like that, yeah. It's quite a unique moment.
Out of body experience, only
Absolutely.
You're actually inside Alex and Lucas, which is another story, probably entirely different broadcast. Because they all get ready and pop themselves onto the grid, and we'll take you through the grid very, very shortly. Desperately trying to hold off any rain jokes. So here we go down through the grid. On pole position is Lucas Euler for Simcraft Midnight Motorsport. Alongside him will be teammate Alex Cooper for Simcraft Midnight Motorsport.
That's our new team name. That's painting it in that, uncopyrighted.
Please get a cow livery. Third will be Tom van der Voort for Nijo Racing. I'm loving that green. Dave Carl Smith and Lee Morris 4 and 5 for Nordjone Racing, side by side. And then the second Nijo of Ruud Heesterbeek. Awesome name, I will never get over that. Lewis Redshaw, 7 for Hawkeye, Jats. 8 Peticasa in the first of the Torrent Motorsports, with Jim Parisis alongside him in row 5, with Bart de Vos rounding out the top 10 in the second for Hawkeyes, with Dave Gaspers for Green Stripes, top of those, Tom Parker, Top Woods Racing, and Jason Muscat rounds out the top half of the grid in 13th for Red Archer.
We joined by Adam Rouse. This is their obviously Halcyon being promoted up, bumped up from Super Cup. He's in 14th. Steve Verloy, he returns to racing. He's taken a little bit of sabbatical. He was in GPO for a while, and he's now returned with Kerno, so he's in 15th. David Junt is in 16th. The second Halcyon of Phil Cunn is 17th. Dave Stanton in the wonderful Golf livery car. I think that's magnificent to see that on a Formula 1 car. David Stanton in 18th, with Mark Stanton in 19th. In the second constant racing car. Ben Warren is in 20th for Woods Racing, and Christoph Lichtenstein for Green Stripes is 21st. Boyd Bryson 22nd, with Mark Johnston in the second Kerno in 23rd. Kieran Ryan for Phoenix is in 24th, with Mark Fuller for ST in 25th, and the second ST Racing of Miles Dixon in 26th.
Super. That Phoenix F1 car, it's like someone's taken a whole beach photograph and then mapped it all over the car and got it slightly wrong. Either that, or someone's just spilt Orangina over what was going to be a nice display. But I am loving the fact...
I thought it was a little Mardi Gras as well.
Yeah. Maybe we should get some reggae sauce out. I could certainly do a little bit of a hula hip to that. But the cars are getting themselves all lined up onto the grid. I can see, look at... Dave Carl Smith is pointing slightly aggressively already towards the cars. So
we know how good he is at his starts.
Absolutely. 58 laps of high-octane action. GPVWC Super League is about to go, and off and away they go, and there's already carnage behind us. 2 wheels have gone, and one of the Nordstones is round. That is Lee Morris is facing the wrong way already before we get down to turn 1. Noela's got away nicely from Cooper and Van der Kolk. Carl Smith, then Casa, Heesterbeek, Parisis, Junt, Verloy and Muscat are your top 10, but there are at least 3 or 4 cars without front wings. Lee Morris is facing the wrong way. Ben Warren has only just got going as well. So already carnage down at turn 1, and it's Lewis Redshaw who's lost his front wing for the Hawkeye team, and it is David Gaspers. So it was right towards the back end of the top 10 that caused problems, but someone had already pushed round Lee Morris, who is actually retired with suspension and left the server already in absolute disgust.
Oh, Dave Cosmeth's made a huge lunge. He's taken 2 cars. Someone's quite close to there, Simon. He just took 2 cars in one corner there. He braked so late he went past Van der Voort and Alex Cooper, went off the track. He's now given the pace back to Cooper and Van der Voort, but he's got by as well. Dave Cosmeth off the line, he actually nudged Alex Cooper. He got such a good start, the clutch dropped, but Cooper pulled to the left ever so slightly, and Cosmeth went into the back of him. Cooper held on to second, and Cosmeth went back towards Van der Voort, and he's just gone around the outside there. What a move that was from Cosmeth.
Look at Kasser, he's going to go around the outside of turn 15 and get round the crafty little birdie of Easterbeek, and he takes 5th position. Easterbeek's trying to go around the outside, round turn 16, there's only going to be one way, and that's the barrier, potentially. God knows how they got side by side. Easterbeek, such grip around the outside, takes it, and now Carl Smith is side by side with Tom Van der Voort for 3rd and 4th position down into turn 1. Carl Smith takes the position beautifully there, and Easterbeek keeps back Petter Kasser. It's Euler from Cooper, Carl Smith, Voort, Easterbeek, Kasser, Parisis, Junt, Muscat and Verloy, your top 10, as Bart de Vos is overtaken by Tom Parker for 11 and 12 down to turn 3, and there was another overtake going on behind. That's Mark Johnston being overtaken by Mark Fuller for 19 and 20. In fact, Johnston holds that position. Crumbs, what a start!
Incredible start, and there's a great run down towards turn 3 from Tom Van der Voort on Dave Carl Smith. He's going to have a look again as he knows Carl Smith is able to hold off. Carl Smith defended the inside line, was able to hold the corner as well, and Van der Voort is coming back at him. Van der Voort's definitely got the straight line speed advantage over Carl Smith, and Ruud Heespeak's not too far behind, but Carl Smith has been able to get by, and he's up into 3rd place now currently.
He has indeed. Gaspers and Redshaw have been in for front wings and have rejoined the race at the very back, but Dave Carl Smith has got this little train of Nijos and Toro Motorsport cars behind him. Then the Red Archers have got together with Junt and Muscat in 8th and 9th. They've really benefited from all the drama at the very beginning there, and that's worked out perfectly for them as Mark Johnston goes past Miles Dixon for 18th, so the Kerno Motorsport car going up the field quite nicely. And just look at the little train that's going on from 3rd all the way down to 8th, 9th positions as they come across the start lap 2. And who's that having a peekaboo out? It was one of the Red Archers, but he's pulled back in again. There's certain places around this track where the risk of overtaking is so much less, and where you had Voort having a little peek at Dave Carl Smith, I always think is one of the more dangerous places to have a go. What do you think?
Absolutely, it's a very difficult place to overtake, and just in that what just happened there as well is that the Torrent boys were looking pretty menacing against each other, Parisis on Kasser, but they got it sorted out. A big credit to those two drivers actually. They're probably in the, I think it's either 2nd or 3rd least developed car, and yet they're running 6th and 7th. That's a wonderful job from them two at the moment, and we know the ability they both have, Petter Kasser and Jim Parisis, and they're holding on to the tail end of the 2 Nijo cars and Dave Carl Smith. Carl Smith's not been able to break away from the Nijo racing yet, but Dave Carl Smith, I believe actually the Nijo's slightly more upgraded than the Norwegian at the moment as well, so Carl Smith's having a great race.
It is indeed. Mark Fuller's just tapped Ben Warren for 20th and 21st. The ST guys went in side by side into turn 3, and that was problems for 19th and 20th. And now you've got Warren, Muller and Stanton trying to go 3 wide into the fast chicane. Ben Warren absolutely being taken left, right and centre. He'd need to go to a gun clinic if that was in real life, as Stanton goes around the outside and Warren just flicks in behind. He knows better. Discretion, the better part of valour there. So it's all kicking off down at towards the rear end of the field, as Tom Van der Voort taking a little bit of a straight-in lining round turn 1 and 2 there to make sure that he stays well within reach of Carl Smith. But Euler, 3.2 seconds now clear from Cooper, who's got another 2.2 back to Carl Smith as they sort themselves out. And the TMO guys starting to lose a little bit of sight, 1.4 back from Heasterbeek. But the more those lot battle, the more it's going to be problems for someone else, as who was that taking position? That is Adam Rouse down in 14th position. He's dropped behind Phil Cullen.
Yep, and Carl Smith is fending off the 2 Nijo cars. The only retirement is Dave Carl Smith's teammate Lee Morris. He went out at the very start of the race. Looks like in a moment on the line. But Carl Smith's the one that's been hounded by the two Nijos at the moment. Oh, Phil Cullen now has gone as well, as you just pointed out. So Van der Voort and Ruud Heesterbeek are the two challengers to currently third place man Dave Carl Smith.
Absolutely, and they're starting to now, the batching that we was talking about in qualifying is starting to really play out slightly as the tyres go. As oh, that was a great save by Tom in fourth position. He was getting it all shaky. Someone would have called him Stevens if he was a child, because the TMO, yeah, the Harlem Shake, definitely. The TMO guys are slightly dropping off. The Red Archers are now starting to hold up Steve Verloy, and Verloy's got a run on Junt for 9th and 10th position. Junt going so defensive down before he gets down to turn 1. Verloy's going to try and go around the outside for the Kerno, and he's got it. Great move there, late on the brakes, and that has perfectly worked out for him. So he's now splitting the Red Archers as Carl Smith continues to hold off the Nijos for 3rd, 4th and 5th. And Carl Smith's teammate Lee Morris has joined us in there. You didn't even get down the end of the start-finish straight as Boyd Bryson pits from 21st place. What happened to you, Lee?
Well, I got a good start. Good initial bite with the clutch. You know, I was doing practicing, and you know, I think it was Tom in front got a poor launch, so I had to get out the gas basically. Otherwise, I'd gone straight up the back of him. And as I got out the gas, someone else went up the back of me and pushed me into the pit wall. So that was it. Race over.
Ah. No fun at all. But you must at least have some kind of hope, and you can see the actual real potential, because you was right up there battling with the leading guys that are still out there battling now, so you know that you must feel safe, that it's a good platform to get on. As one of the Red Archers, David Junt, is spun out of the far chicane and is now down to 13th position.
Yeah, we had a good platform. I mean, we didn't expect to be that close to the midnight, to be honest. We were on the primes in quali. I could have done a much better lap time, but every time I did a lap, it was the same people blocking again. The Mark Fullers, the Miles Dixons, the Kieran Ryans, you know, just getting in the way because they're 5 seconds lap slower. And you just couldn't get a clean lap in. The one lap I was 0.5 up, I got done by Jim Parisis in the final sector, so we could have gone a lot quicker in qualifying, both me and Dave. Our actual lap times were faster than Midnight's anyway, so we were looking pretty good. But as usual, the same things happened, so I've totally had enough now.
Okey-dokey, well, let's hope we'll get you back for the next round or something, as Ben Warren took Miles Dixon round the outside at turn 14 in a great move for 19th and 20th positions as they scrap. They're maybe 5 seconds off the pace, but they're still going at it hammer and tongs. Thank you very much, Lee. Is there anything you wanted to ask, Nick?
Well, just to point out the fact that obviously Dave Carl Smith, Lee's teammates, he's currently in 3rd place. He's 3 seconds behind Alex Cooper currently, and there's Van der Voort and Hastings are all over the back of them. So, were you confident that you still had the race pace over the Midnights, even if you were able to do it in qualifying there, Lee?
I had a better feeling in the race than I did in the qualifying, sorry, because my quali pace wasn't that good. But in the race, I seemed pretty quick. I was still quick in qualifying, but not as much as I'd like to have been. And the race pace seemed very good. I don't know if we never found out. That's the problem. We don't know now. I mean, Dave should get quicker and quicker now on the prime, because the tyres should start to come up to temperature. He should start getting quicker and quicker, and he's obviously got the options to come. So this pace that they're doing now isn't that impressive considering the tyres are on. So we should have been a lot quicker. I'm just really disappointed because I put in a lot of effort, and Dave's done hardly any running whatsoever. He's done about 10 laps, and he's up there showing the pace we can do and the setup work I've done. And I come out worst again, and I've just totally had enough for the effort I put in. I don't seem to get anything back from it.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate, and Dave Carl Smith at the moment is definitely making it work. Whatever the setup is you've dialed in, it seems to be working on that Norwegian, because the prime tyres, the yellow banded tyres for everyone viewing, is what Dave Carl Smith is on currently, and the two Midnight boys in front, Lucas Euler and Alex Cooper, they are on the red banded option compound at this moment in time. The gap difference from Carl Smith going forwards is 3.3 to Alex Cooper and 9 seconds to Lucas Euler currently. So Tom van der Voort and Ruud Heesterbeek just behind are both also on the option red compound tyres at the moment.
Great stuff. Well, best of luck, Lee, for the future. Thank you very much for coming and joining us. Go and have a cake or something. You take care. The fantastic battle going on for 9, 10 and 11. Steve Verloy, Tom Parker and Bart Voss were nearly free abreast coming into the chicane, and Tom Parker, who had Bart Voss side by side at the start of this lap, now is actually the aggressor instead of the defender, because the pendulum just swings and swings from corner to corner, and now Parker, instead of eating all over Steve Verloy's rear wing, is now having to watch his as they come out of the final turn. And obviously, grip diminishes, everything diminishes over time. Even though your fuel load is going down and potentially you get quicker, the car is such a living object that things change. And Parker has another little look, but can't quite do anything, but has to really watch, because as soon as he makes a little bit of a mistake, now look at Bart de Vos, sensing a little bit of a sneaky squirrel up the inside at turn 3 maybe. Must be so difficult to be right sandwiched in the middle of that.
Very much, especially around this type of track as well. It's a very difficult place to overtake, and these Verloy, Parker and Bart de Vos are battling pretty hard, and Rousey's about 5 seconds further back down the road, so if they get into a scrap, he's going to be there to pounce. Towards the front again though with Alex Cooper, he's just going to match at the time with Dave Carl Smith, but 4/10 quicker for Lucas Euler.
Yes indeed, it's Tom Parker and Verloy smacking each other's wheels under the braking towards that corner. I said that corner was dangerous. Poor old Tom Parker, he did come into this race screaming I don't want to do it. Well, he had a go. Unfortunately, if you go into a black hole with your eyes closed, you're only going to get trouble. And that was the end of that. He still stays in 11th, and that car may not be particularly damaged, but that's now given Bart de Vos a go on Verloy down into turn 14. He's got the inside, he'll just run Verloy out round side by side. There's room on the grass to have grip if you've got it, but Bart just runs him out wide and covers the inside for 15. Look at Verloy though, going right the way around the outside. This is toe-to-toe action as they come out to start or complete lap 8 of 58. And yeah, cameraman Simon Melbush, the sky is getting darker. And
well, you referred to black holes. I wasn't referring to that one, but it's definitely the sky that's happening.
Any holes a goal, especially if you're going for position. And yeah, de Vos has got that one. Verloy back down to 10th. We can't escape that 10th position no matter what he does for the Kerno Sport guys, but I think they'll be pleased with that, judging by previous form of 2012. But your guys still doing good, having a quiet race, which I'd imagine you're quite pleased with.
I am at the moment, most definitely. Lucas is really putting some great lap times at the moment. He's just done a 25.4 to take the fastest lap of the race on the option tyre, so he's pushing on his now, Lucas. Alex is about 4/10 off. He seems to be struggling slightly more so on the options, and Carl Smith's able to hold the gap at exactly the same time, and he's on the obviously the harder compound. So kudos to Dave Carl Smith here, and he is starting to get quicker as well as Dave on those prime tyres. So those tyres are going to come towards him more and more in this stint. We saw this as well from James Shepherd last night. He went on the harder compounds in Super Cup and ran it very, very late into the race before the rain even came in. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out for Carl Smith, especially with the skies darkening.
Absolutely. Battle over second last wooden spoon. David Stanton and Lewis Redshaw for Constant and Hawkeye. They were side by side into turn 3. Lewis Redshaw held it. And Miles Dixon has just been overtaken by David Gaspers because Dixon's been off the road. So Dixon down to 21st position. It's not working out well for the ST guys. They were really struggling with their car, and actually Dixon's now got a run to have a go back at Gaspers for 20th position, but he chickens out of it. That hole was not being penetrated, but David Stanton is still holding off Lewis Redshaw as they come out side by side in turn 14. 22nd position this may be, but there is honour and pride at stake. And yeah, Lewis Redshaw's got the stake dying on that one. Still ahead of Boyd Bryson, who's our last guy for the Phoenix F1. 2 retirements. Phil Cullen disconnected on lap 3, and Lee Morris didn't get down to turn 1 before it all went Jan tits up. And so we continue on, coming round on lap 10 of 58 so far.
Yeah, Lee Morris, the big scalp at the moment. What's happened at the start, obviously, as he referred to, was pitched into the wall at the start, as Lucas Euler just has a 25.355 now for the fastest lap of the race once again. And it looks like Alex Cooper improved as well to 25.8, and Dave Carl Smith 25.5. So those prime tires are coming towards him. He's starting to close down Cooper.
20th place. David Gaspers all over Mark Fuller. He's going to have a go down into this notoriously difficult overtaking move. Fuller pulls right across in the ST racing car. That's the closest duo on track currently at the moment, although Verloy and de Vos aren't too far apart either. Ben Warren is all over Mike Stanton, and who's that in trouble? Look at that side by side into the chicane. G-Mini Crickets, and right behind Lewis Redshaw got round Miles Dixon doing the same move. Lichtenstein's into the pits though, and that looks like it's actually planned. So that's quite early, I'd have thought, lap 11.
It does seem so. I'm just wondering if we're starting to see possibly spots of rain as well.
Well, I mean,
Just the odd spot I just saw for Lucas Euler on board there, but it stopped again.
well, if you're going to pull in after just a dribble, then you've not really had a fun day out, if I say. As Mark Fuller in 19th place is now under attack once again from David Gaspers. He's going to have a lunge down into turn 1. On the repress up the field, Gaspers was doing very well to qualify, and I think it was 11th place for the Green Stripes Racing before he lost his front wing on the way down to turn 1, and that's not worked out well for Fuller, who's now under attack by Redshaw, who's already had one ST and now he's got the other. Side by side, can you hold on around the outside round? Oh, that curve bites you back. So he's done brave, he's done well, especially if there are spots of rain, because it's just, sometimes it's psychological, isn't it? That you know that the rain is there and you start to second guess yourself, and then you start being a little bit pussy-whipped around some of these corners.
Well, very much so, because on that last lap, Alex Cooper was quicker than Lucas Euler, and going through turn 1 looks like he gained a little bit of ground again. So, yeah, and Dave Carl Smith was faster than the pair of them. So, Carl Smith on the harder tyres, even with these what seems to be changeable to conditions coming in, is very confident in that car, that Norwegian racing car at the moment.
This is the first split time that I've seen. The gap between Cooper and Carl Smith is under 2 seconds, and he does a little lock up into turn 6, I think that is, or 7 or 8. It's one of those. There's a corner, he's in it. The Nijo guys are still running nose to tail with Van der Voort and Heasterbeek, but they've now dropped back 2.5 seconds. So Carl Smith no longer has to look in his rear mirror to see what on earth's going on with the beautifully green cars behind them, loving the cucumbers. And yeah, I think he can now focus on the only way is forward.
Absolutely, and the two Torrent guys are pretty much in a class of their own at the moment as well. Split by 1.6 seconds as Lucas Euler just has a 1:25.281 to take the fastest lap of the race. Alex Cooper's going to cross the line for a 25.8, and Carl Smith, he does a 26.1, so not so good that lap, but it was Lucas Euler that had got it all sorted out that lap.
Great blue flag action from Boyd Bryson, getting well out of the way from Alex Cooper there. Do love a good of blue flag loving, as Boyd then so desperate to get out of the way, losing it down in turn 3. Now he's going to ruin and blow his copybook by coming. Oh no, that desperate to get out of the way. Easy, calm the guy. Yeah.
I think Chris Williamson's a bit worried as well, because Ruud Heespeak was all over the back of Tom de Voort there.
Yes, he will be, because look, there's only 4/10 of a second between them. Ruud may want to give Tom a bit of a rude surprise very shortly. How often do you find team tactics come into play as a team manager? Do you actively like swapping people around? Do you prefer to let them fight it out themselves, trusting that they will not bin it?
Well, I've learned that the hard way last year. I think it was Suzuka that we were racing at, and I learned that the hard way, and promised myself I'd never fall sort of team tactics like that again. But it is a hard call, especially late in the season. This point of the season, as I've alluded on the podcast, it's a free fall really more than anything. The drivers are free to race between them.
Okay. Liechtenstein is not hitting an apex since he's changed onto tyres. Every time I've clicked on him, he's not near an apex at all. It's like he's got some allergic reaction to them. So maybe it's taking a while for his guys to get back up to temperature. Here he joined in 18th place. David Stanton has caught Mark Fuller for 21st and 22nd place, so they're all kind of crowding themselves in, but that battle is about to be caught by Lucas Euler, who has got 7.8 seconds over Cooper, who's actually pulled out now to 3 seconds over Carl Smith. So it really is toing and froing between each other, and I think now that they're starting to hit this little gaggle of cars towards the back, who are actually still quite close with each other, back markers are really going to start to play a part.
Yeah, Carl Smith struggled for pace in the past couple of laps. Alex Cooper on the past 2 laps did a 25.8 and 25.7, whereas Carl Smith did a 26.1 and 26.4. So that's why the gap's gone up, so just over 3 seconds, and he's making it work at the moment. But Alex Cooper's pit light is on, and so is Lucas Euler's.
Ooh.
Now, there is one thing that we have got in our back pocket, is the fact we have a fully upgraded pit crew. So, if they get this right, we will not have to stack these two.
As Lucas Euler, but that's indeed dive into the pits. Well, you've got, Cooper is in right behind. You've got 7.7 seconds. That is cutting it finer than someone that's got a little bit of an anorexia problem. Euler's still in. Oh no!
God, that was close.
Oh, how do you feel? How do
I
you
really
feel?
don't. I really don't know how close the time of that was. That was unbelievably close, though. I
bet
did
you
not
were
want to see
crowned.
that.
I can see a front wing down at turn 1, so someone's had a bit of an off-ski as Cooper rejoins in 7. So Dave Carr-Smith now leads, and he's
I
thick in
think
the
it's
middle of
Phoenix.
traffic.
There's a very slow Phoenix that Carl Smith's just gone by, so it might have been his wing that's disappeared.
Yeah, it's no, both Phoenix are still going. Tom Parker's in the pits as well, from what is now 13th place. And yeah, we'll work out who that car is in a smidgeroo because it's difficult to work it all out. It may be... no, it's not. But no, Carl Smith... Ah, it's Mark Fuller. Yeah, it is actually in the SG Racing, limping around with no front wing at all. That was a turn 1 accident. And yeah, that's not good. He's dropped behind Boyd Bryson now. So Carl Smith leads from 2.9 seconds from Tom Vandervoort. Then Heasterbeek still harrying him round. The Nijo's not giving each other any space at all. Then you've got Euler still ahead of the TMOs of Casa and Parisis, who are again not giving each other much space. Cooper's in between them. So it's a TMO sandwich. Then you've got Muscat and DeVos still going at it actually. Bart DeVos has caught Jason Muscat. Muscat's had a very quiet race so far and unassumedly got himself into a great 8th. Then you've got Verloy, Adam Rouse, David Junt, Mark Johnston, Kieran Ryan, Tom Parker, who has pitted, Mark Stanton, Ben Warren, Lewis Redshaw, Christoph Lichtenstein, who has also pitted, David Stanton, then the lapped David Gaspers, Dixon, Bryson and Fuller. And Tom is off. Heasterbeek takes 2nd.
Absolutely, and Dave Carr-Smith's come up to traffic with David Stanton as well, who seems to be shaking his ass everywhere at the moment. He's got out the way though finally, but Dave Carr-Smith was a bit scared then, I think, to see the Golf colours wiggling its tail.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either if I saw something like that shaking its booty at me. I wouldn't know what to do. But yeah, down at turn 3, that was Tom. It was bizarre. He'd made the corner, and then it was just this kind of like, I don't know, spasm that came from the car. And then, but he'd done the corner. That was what was so weird about that. But Heasterbeek is through, and immediately you can see there is already a 1.2 second gap. So Rude has been released. Release the beak. As off and away he goes. And Tom now, he's too far ahead to really start playing into the hands of the Euler, Cooper, Carr-Smith's gaggle. So it's going to be really interesting to see exactly how these strategies play out. Because remember, they all started on different compounds, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Lucas Euler's now. He's actually switched from the option tyres onto the prime compounds. And I think Alex Cooper's switched onto the option, so he's gone option, whereas Lucas Euler has gone onto the prime tyres. That's probably why he's not making as much inroad as I thought he might have done on the 2 Nijos. Now the 2 Nijos have started on the options, and Carl Smith started on the prime, which is the yellow band tyres. So he's likely to be the one that goes furthest into the race, will be Carl Smith before making his stop. So then we've got Heasterbeek and Van der Voort, who have actually gone 2 laps longer than the Midnight guys at the moment, so they're doing a good job on those option tyres, whereas Lucas Euler is starting to make a little bit of an impression on them. As Pedicassa, and Jim Priestley, they both started the Torrent guys on the option tyre also.
Wow. Okay. Jason Muscat in 8th position is being absolutely harassed by Bart DeVos. He just keeps doing, you know, that little creeping, I'll just have a wee peek. And you're busy looking in your mirror thinking, oh God. But Bart DeVos has definitely got the legs on Muscat. Muscat's doing some amazing defensive driving as they come into the far chicane. They've just got round one Phoenix guy. They've now got Miles Dixon up to lap ahead, who gets well out of the way, but actually DeVos may do a dive through in the middle. And he's trying to go. Muscat holds on around the outside, all 4 wheels off the track. Oh, a wee bit of a love nudge there. That won't have done anyone any help at all, as Van der Voort in the pits for Nijo from what was 3rd place, as Carl-Smith does his fastest lap. So it is all change. Cooper then goes up to 5th behind Casa, who's still yet to pit. Parisis is in for Torrent Motorsport as well, so a few guys are in. And the problem with Thomas Van der Voort is that he is rejoined right behind, or a couple of seconds behind, this Muscat and DeVos battle. And if they're still going, that could really hold up DeVos. As DeVos goes around the outside into turn 3, 6th position. taken for the Hawkeye guys. That was a fantastic move. Muscat has been absolutely tamed.
Absolutely, what a move that was from Bart DeVos. Outstanding move. And Carl Smith setting that fast lap on the prime tyre as well. He's still not stopped, so these tyres, they're getting faster and faster as Lucas Oil now has to warm them up, and he has traffic in the form of Gaspers and Stanton.
Absolutely. Steve Verloy has just rejoined the track in 13th position. Tom Parker has already pitted and he's got more to upgrade on the tyres side by side. The contact between the two. Oh my goodness me, they just kind of started to lock wheels and nudge each other off the track. Parker gets it. He was obviously going, no, yes. And just decided to have it. That's an ST Racing who's quite clearly not on the racing line, limping around again. That is Miles Dixon. So
second place man, he's speaking.
Great. As, yeah, Nick calls it, he's the beak is in. Boiler through to second. They're going back up there, Nick.
They are, but Carl Smith is still out there and he's still doing very good lap times. 25.5 for the last lap, 26.5 for Lucas. So obviously these tyres will come to Lucas later in the stint, which will help. But at the moment, Dave Carl Smith is absolutely flying on the prime compound. He's 2 tenths up on his own time in Sector 1 alone.
Crumbs. He's the Beak's under trouble though in 4th position. He's just rejoined and Bart DeVos, who's been busy getting a little bit rowdy, trying to have a go, and he's off. Beak is off. Don't want to start sticking it in some wood, I'm afraid. But down to 5th position he goes, and DeVos keeps 4th. Then you've got Tom Vandervoort, who's really lost out by 5 seconds to Heath Beak and all that. Adam Rouse up to 7 for Halcyon, doing a great job, yet to pit. Then Casa, Junt, Paresis currently a 10 as the strategies start to play themselves out. And this is going to be absolutely fascinating over these next couple of laps.
Yeah, the skies are brightening now as well. It's gone back to more of a blue colour, so we're going to get a bit more clearer skies as Carl Smith comes on the final corner. He was a half second off in the final section in the end, as he's now coming up towards Mark Johnson and Christoph Lichtenstein, as Lucas Euler is 6 tenths behind on pace at the moment as he comes up the final corner. So the gap's holding at 17.3 seconds.
Ah! Do you know, I don't want blue skies. I wanted some kind of end of days storm to come down. I feel like I've been shortchanged. Everyone else has had it. There's plenty of time to go, as Nick said earlier on. It's not just 4 seasons, it's like 4 period banes in a go. As someone's in the pits, who was that? That's Bart DeVos in from 5th position. There, it's 28 days of a woman's cycle, all in the space of an hour and a half. Adam Rouse is in from 7th as well. I'm talking mood swings, nothing else. I was being a good boy, I wouldn't even know what to do with it. It's like eating a bacon sandwich and just thinking, God, too much salt. Dave Carl Smith, though, continues to lead us round by 16.3 seconds. How quickly does it take you to get in and out the pits round here?
If I remember correctly, it's about 17 seconds, I think it is. It's totally dependent, as our director just pointed out, dependent on the pit crew, but I think it's around about 17 for us, if I remember correctly. So you're talking anything between 17 to 23-ish, I'd say.
Okay, so Cooper really under threat now, 24.8 seconds behind Carl Smith. This could be a real switcheroo for 2nd and 3rd, even if it is pit stop related. I don't mind, as long as there's some action going on, we will have it. The Nijos have really dropped back now, with Heasterbeek well clear of Vandervoort, who continues to drop away. Then the TMOs have got up to 6th and 7th now, Casa and Paresis. Muscat is now down to 8th, having pitted. Bart DeVos 9. Tom Parker is 10, ahead of Steve Verloy, but Verloy's not dropping away. And then we've got David Junt has beat Adam Rouse out of the pits. Rouse went later and has actually caught up in time to David Junt because they weren't together before the pit stop, so that has really worked out well for Adam Rouse. Lichtenstein is the first of our unlapped in 14th, ahead of Mark Johnston, but Johnston is closing down the Green Stripes Racing guys, so that is going to be a little interesting one because there's about 1.5 seconds between those. Kieran Ryan is a top Phoenix man in 16th. Lewis Redshaw 17 for Hawkeye, ahead of Mark Stanton, who's ahead of David Stanton, although there is about a whole sector and a bit between them. Gaspers is just leaving the pits, as is Boyd Bryson, having a pit stop battle over 20th and 21st place. Bless their little cottons. And Miles Dixon is just a wee smidge behind. We're ahead of Ben Warren. And 2 laps down is Mark Fuller after his loss of front wing earlier on. Still 24 guys going. I thought there'd only be 15 left at the end. This is disgusting.
Absolutely, and Dave Carl Smith is still carrying on as well. It's interesting to see the fact that everyone that's pitted has ultimately either held pace or gone slower, but Carl Smith has been improving each time he's gone round. So it's been working out on these prime tyres to go longer into to a stint than anyone else, and he's still going on lap 21. He's still yet to stop, and Lucas Euler's still yet to get anywhere near the times that Carl Smith's been hitting, and at the moment he's got an 18.5 second advantage.
Oh, it's going absolutely nuts as Gaspers and Bryson for 20th and 21st side by side. Bryson gives the place back. Obviously, he's taking it under duress. Yeah, I mean, it does call into the fact. I mean, we saw it in the real F1 last year, where everyone was like, "Ooh, what do we do with the tyres? What do we do with the tyres?" As a sim racer, what do you find is the most important thing when you're thinking about tyre conservation and being able to then push it when it needs to be pushed?
It's a difficult one. It depends how much you want to. Also, well, the main thing's driving style. It depends if you're an understeer or an oversteer kind of person, and how you can look after that with the nature of the car that you have. If you understeer, you know, it's going to create problems across the tyres, and the oversteer, you're just going to have to try and control the traction each time you go through a corner. So it depends on the actual style of the car, and also the upgrades of the car. Obviously, with GPVWC, it's very adaptable. You can make the car or design the car as much as you want it. As Carl Smith just does a 24.8, the first man into the 24s.
Disgusting.
It's just come up on traffic as well. Ben Warren and Miles Dixon, who both get out the way on lap 22.
And Warren's going to have it.
Whoa, he's going to pass him, is he?
Yoink!
Whoa, Boyd Boyson's off in front of Dave Carl Smith as well.
Oh dear, yes he is. He was busy battling with Gaspers. It is all kicking off for anyone that's outside the top 20. My goodness me, they all go 2 laps down. Ben Warren's the one that wins out of that, getting round both the ST of Dixon and Bryson, the Phoenix F1. So picking them up again. Don't want to leave an American left to their own devices because they will sneak up on you.
Yeah, just to finish the point I was saying, it's the fact of however you can control it. If you're able to drive a little bit slower, but to enough pace and not scrub the tyres too much, then you can use them later in the stint. And this is exactly what Carl Smith's done. He didn't worry too much with the fact that the Nidro boys were behind him, just conserve his tyres, and now he's using them absolutely perfectly. And he's on lap 22, and he's still yet to stop.
Absolutely. I mean, do you find that actually if you push the tyres more at the beginning of a stint, they drop off quicker than if you, say, try and leave some till the end?
Yes.
As Carl Smith pops in.
He's fine. Yes, the race leader, Dave Carl Smith, finally pits. Yes, they do. They deteriorate a much quicker rate. So it's at the start when they're cold, obviously coming off the line, etc. as well. They deteriorate at a much faster rate. So the guys really have to control them and understand them. As Carl Smith's sitting in pit lane, longer pit stop than what the Midnight Boys have had. And I think this is going to give it back to Lucas still, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's actually a longer pit stop than I thought, because we got a short pit stop as Carl Smith
well out ahead of Cooper.
Whereas Alex Cooper is coming down the start straight now. Carl Smith's in turn 1, and Cooper has to get round Redshaw and Ryan. So Dave Carl Smith has moved up from 3rd to 2nd place, and he's gained about 4 seconds on Lucas Euler as well, 5 seconds maybe.
But he's on prime tyres, which means that if we stay drier than a desert, then he needs to be back in again. So everyone's strategy is kind of peeling themselves away bit by bit. And he was really the last one, I think, to actually pop in at all. So that has worked out quite well for him as... net gain, what is he, 7 behind. So he was over 10.5 before the pit stops actually begun. So even just in time-wise, he has gained. So not just position time.
He's gained in time, he's gained a position, and now Alex Cooper is 3.3 seconds behind, but he has an 8-second advantage over Ruud Heesterbeek, where Van der Voorts drops to 13 behind Heesterbeek now after his off.
Crumbs. So yeah, Heesterbeek appears to have been unleashed. You wonder if Ruud may have had a bit more to say if they had swapped positions around, or maybe it's just that he manages his tyres different. It's so difficult to know exactly where everyone's strengths and weaknesses lie and if they're holding back for a reason or not. So part of the mystery of sim racing, I like to say. Not really, said no one ever. So we got Bart de Vos and Steve Verloy still going at it, hammer and tongs. Tom Parker's yoinked through into 9th position, just a second or two up the road, but the Hawkeye versus the Kerno. And yeah, Steve Verloy wants that 10th back. He's been there the entire time. He'll want that 10th back. He doesn't want legs 11. And they're coming up to David Stanton, who they're coming to lap very shortly. And we've got a little flash of Tom Parker up ahead. But Verloy's going to go down the inside into turn 15. That's a bit opportunistic. Brake, my friend, brake. Oh dear. Not to worry. Still good to have a stab and show that exactly what your intentions are, but he's got to be careful because behind the lapped Gaspers is David Junt and Adam Rouse, so they can't do too much ruining of each other because Junt and Rouse are there to pick up the pieces. Okay, and just whilst all of that is kicking off, what have we got going on here? As David Stanton is holding up Verloy quite a lot. Ooh, yeah, Verloy's through. That camera angle always shortens everything that's going on. We've got James Shepherd with us.
How you doing, Simon?
We're doing very well. How are you?
Good. It's been an exciting race so far.
It has. I've only wet myself a few times out of sheer scaredness. But how's it been for you and your guys?
Yeah, they're going really well. Dave's providing a bit of a strategic problem for us, and we had a bit of a scare with the Nijo pace earlier, but they're looking good, and as long as they can keep it clean, they should be alright.
Absolutely. As David Gaspers overtakes, oh no, he's not overtaken David Stanton for 19th and 20th, but Gaspers is going to have him very shortly because David Stanton's having a little bit of a I want to end it all in the barriers now emo streak. So what do you feel that is going to happen for you a little bit later on? Is stuff going to your plan, James?
Well, yeah, so far we've pulled the gaps that we need. Alex is suffering a little niggling problem on the start. You guys mentioned that Dave tapped him, and he's had a bit of suspension damage, but we've assisted him with moving his brake bias around and doing whatever he can to try to balance that. And yeah, he's going alright now. He's maintaining it. He's decided not to fix the damage at the pit stop, so he's just going to nurse it to the end.
Excellent. As Gaspers finally gets round Stanton, they were busy trying to let someone else through, and it's all gone a wee bit horribly wrong for them. There's been a change of position elsewhere as well. Kieran Ryan's dropped behind Lewis Redshaw for 16th and 15th. Oh, that's because Christoph Lichtenstein's in for a second stop on lap 26. He must be 3 stopping by the end of it all. Any on-air conferring between you two, Nick and James? Going to let us in on a little bit of juicy goss?
Well, obviously, I left James in charge. He's obviously our test driver, but it's also on the technical side, he's been helping these guys superbly. And I'm just intrigued to see what he thinks of us squaring up straight against Norwegian, and also what happened with the leader at the start.
I don't want to speak for Lee. I know he's going to rip me for it. But yeah, like he said, Lee got a good start initially, and then who was in front of him? I think it was Tom in the Nijo. Had a bit of a bad start, and Lee backed out. And it's unfortunate for him. He got a bit of a tangle. It would have been nice to see how we compare against him in the race. But in the long term, it would be interesting. I'm a bit concerned for Norwegian, especially for Dave, having Lee as a teammate, because you see how he performs in practice, and he goes out there to try to settle lap time. He has no recognition for the team. As far as gaining R&D points, it's all about himself, and as much as he says that he's a team driver, he very much drives for himself, and he's very selfish. So I really feel for Dave, the position that he's in, having to deal with that. And I've got to ask myself, what was Will Panisi thinking when he hired him? It's such a gamble to hire a driver like Lee.
Well, there's a candid response if you ever want one, Simon.
I tell you what, I don't need any more candy for my candy floss. I'll just take all of James's comments and stick them in, and off we go. And I'll have myself a bittersweet drink. Just while that was going on, Mark Fuller done another turn 1 pirouette into the barrier and has lost his front wing again. So twice a charm for poor old Fuller. He's full of it. He's going to struggle to get back to the pits if he continues going on like that. Yeah, current affairs, James. Fancy ripping apart that as well while we're at it. Oh, mind you, you're not in the UK.
What,
That's
ST?
a bit rubbish.
ST driving slower than the top 2 super... Okay, mind you, one of them was me, and the other one, Billy Lapala. They're driving lap times slower than Super Cup yesterday. This is a car that should be 4 to 5 seconds a lap faster, and they're going slower than the Super Cup car on race pace. I don't know what they're doing.
They've obviously taken a leaf out of my book. So yeah, yeah. Let's not beat people up, because obviously we're all here for good giggles and fun, and yeah, we'll see how things go. I've not got drunk enough yet to really get the feelings out there, so I think we shall have a beer break in a smidge. Yeah. So as a third driver, whilst you're out on track, whilst things have just settled down for a wee smidge and we get back into some battles very shortly, although Mark Stanton has just clouted the wall out of turn 14 in 18th position, still amazingly with all 4 wheels going in the right direction for the constant team. Yeah. What do you do then as a third driver? Do you keep out for everyone else in the race and be like a third pair of eyes? Do you big people up and say, come on, you can get another 10th here, you fat moose? What do you do?
Well, right now I'm watching the lap and seeing on the track map where everyone is. I'm trying to help the guys assess when the best time is to pit, where they'll come out, tell them what their lap times are in comparison to other guys. When I can, let them know what compounds other people are changing to. When the Nijos were stopping, I was informing our guys of how long the Nijos were in the pit lane for, to try to get an idea of where they were going to stop next. And just things like that. We're just trying to calculate where our opponent's going to be, and see when our guys can afford to save fuel and when they can make the most of pushing.
Okay, so
just to say that, Lucas has pitted from the race lead.
Yep, and Lucas should be in 1 lap before Alex, so we'll see Alex in the next lap, I assume. If they haven't changed the strategy while up anyway.
Yeah, and Lucas has come back out on the option compound as well.
Yeah, Lucas used the prime then. He wanted to make the use of the prime tyre while the temperatures were still quite hot. So we're seeing it's dropped down now to 35 degrees, it was 36 earlier. That's probably due to a few less cars on the track, although it's only Cullen and Morris that are out, isn't it? So the track's cooling down a little bit, which is going to fall back into the hands of the guys on the option tyres.
Tell you what it's not falling into. Jim Parisis has dropped off the back of Petacasa and is now actually in the hands of Jason Muscat for 7th and 8th position. I don't see that one coming on anytime soon. It's like a bat out of hell. So yeah, he's quietly got on with that. Muscat having a very quiet race for Red Archer, but a very effective one indeed. And yeah.
Sorry to butt in this. I think Muscat's pitted yet. He should be very light at the end of his stint. Yeah, we should see him very soon.
Yeah, I've got him as a pit on lap 18, so
Okay,
he's due. Well, he lost 18 seconds on that lap, so hopefully he has either that or he just went for a quick excursion out the back for a quick shrimp on the barbie or something.
Alex does dive into pit lane from 2nd place now as well. So Alex dives in, and that will release Lucas Euler back past.
Mystic
He hits the
Meg.
box.
That's me. Have you got any predictions for the lottery there, James?
Oh, it's a hard one. We don't know what Dave's doing yet. He's throwing a real curveball at us. We didn't expect him to go as long as he did. I tell you what, it's going to be tight at the end between him and Lucas.
If anyone's going to do it long, it's going to be Dave. What is it? Have we done long by lane, long by nature? How many hours was he up before the start of the season?
32.
And then he died.
And
Yes,
yeah, he died.
So this is Borg, Cyborg Smith has returned back.
It is Cyborg
there.
Smith, and we just have to be careful because people did believe the fact he actually died so well. I think James owes a few people an apology for giving him a heart attack anyway.
Yeah, I'm terribly sorry about that, guys. We were having a bit of a laugh after the Formula Challenge race on Tuesday, I believe it was. And Dave just disappeared without a trace, and he's not usually one to do that for a long period of time, and after about 3 or 4 hours we got a bit worried. And, you know, all of us are pretty delirious, gone without sleep ourselves for almost 24 hours, so you start getting into the silly giggly mood. And we started making jokes that he died, and then about 2 hours later he still hadn't come back, and it all sort of hit us how terrible this situation would have been if he had actually died and we've been saying all these things. So
Aww.
poor Lewis Redshaw sat up all night, he refused to go to sleep, and he kept coming on Skype every half an hour asking if David had come back yet. The poor bugger didn't get to sleep until about 3 in the morning.
Oh, Lulu.
So it was a bit of a
No.
practical joke that backfired on us.
Wow. Jiminy Cricket. Well, the world would be a much poorer, sadder place if Dave Carr-Smith was dead. And at least we don't have to do a posthumous victory if he wins it today. So, although
He's pushing on again as well now. He's basically matching the fastest laps of the race. He's just gone through the first sector, 700th of a second off the fastest in sector 1. Where Lucas Euler has just gone, oh, he's only a 10th off. So Lucas is still pushing on. But Dave, it seems to be finding that late prime compound pace again.
Wow, let's see how long he pushes on for and stays out. Wait, what lap did he pop into the pits on? It was 23, so yeah, he's got plenty of time left to go. So we could go theoretically lap 46 again if he's going to just do half and half. He's got the best part of his stint still to come, so this is worrying potentially for Euler, who's 7.2 seconds back. He's to beat currently sitting in 3rd because Cooper's been into the pits. Then Tom van der Voort in 5, Cassa's 6th, well clear of Parisis, who's got Muscat all over the back of him as they come down to turn 8. And Parisis feeling need to go defensive. Muscat's going to throw it down there anyway. His last 10 round, he goes and takes off Parisis. Poor Jason Muscat was having such a clever race up until then. And unfortunately now he's in the kitty litter, cat by name, cat by nature, don't do a dump my friend. Paris is back going again in 7th place ahead of the Stanton. And what that has done is drop Muscat into just a few seconds ahead of Bart de Vos and Steve Verlooy, who have still yet to separate themselves from their magnetic battle over 10th and 11th. And Junt and Rouse aren't too, and Tom Parker as well, who's been into the pits for a second stop. They're not far off. So the kind of little squabble that's from 7th, or 8th now that Muscat's binned it round, all the way down to potentially 13th, very much unresolved, and I think that will keep us guessing right the way up until the flag, Nick.
It most definitely will, and I think the midfield's actually going to tighten up at this rate because they're all on different compounds as well at the moment. We've got Van der Voort, who's on the primes, Cassa's on the options, Parisis is also on the primes. They're all best up throughout the midfield, and it'll all shake out towards the end. And this is obviously the great thing with RFE. We're able to see the tyre compounds and the differences, and see what they're on throughout the race, which is fantastic for the broadcast.
Absolutely, it's been thanks James, sorry he popped away there, obviously duty calls, hopefully not a toilet moment, but yeah, and of course we don't know if the weather's going to change again, and then it might just throw another spanner in the works. All of a sudden everyone's had to dive in for an umbrella, and yeah, this new plug-in, I tell you what, Screw Glade, get this plug-in, it is awesome. I cannot, if I had more than 50 thumbs, there'd be 50 shades of RFE, it really would. There's Kieran Ryan has dropped behind Mark Johnston for 15th and 16th position, that's the change there.
Absolutely. At the front, it's still Dave Carr-Smith who's yet to make his second stop, whereas both the Midnight Boys have done. Also, Rude Easterpeak's yet to make his second stop also, and he's currently sitting in 3rd place. And he's on the options at the moment as well, so he's running well. And he's just on his fastest first sector as well by a 10th of a second. And he's 600ths off the fastest of the race overall. So that Nidjo racing car's definitely got some pace in it, and he's making it work at the moment, Rude. Tom was quicker at the start, but wow, here we go. That's 3/10 quicker than the middle sector, and he's gone a 100th quicker overall. So he's the fastest overall in the middle sector. So this Nidjo car at the moment is absolutely flying on these option tyres.
It is indeed, and that's actually taken him just under 10 seconds for the first time against Dave Carr-Smith. And what's even more interesting is that he is now 15.4 seconds clear of Alex Cooper. That is pit stop territory, isn't it?
It is 26.1 for Carr-Smith, 25.7 for Lucas Euler, 25.3 there for Rude Easterpeak. He beats it by 4/10. He lost a bit of time, but it was overall 4/10 quicker. 25.3. He lost more time overall to Carr-Smith, but 25.3 is a very, very good time there for Rude Easterpeak.
Absolutely. Battle is on, or battle is joined if I was a dodgy BBC ex-commentator. It's really starting to heat up in the second half of this race. It's such a high-speed strategic chess game that goes on sim racing now that we've got all of these wonderful elements in play. And yeah, Rude now starting to play his piece. Still just a few hundredths of a second behind Carr-Smith in the first one, but gaining again on Euler. I think we're going to end up becoming sector and clock watching with that one, as someone else has just changed a position further down the field. That was Dixon has dropped well behind Boyd Bryson for 22nd and 23rd place. So the ST guys are now both the last cars on track currently at the moment, and Verloy is still ahead of David Junt, but now actually dropping away from Bart de Vos. So that 9th and 10th battle the pendulum starting to swing away from Verloy.
Yeah, Carl Smith just improved on time there. He did a 25.5 to Lucas's 25.8. Rude Heasterbeek came across the line with a 25.9, so he dropped 6/10 of what he'd done previously. So it's ebbing and flowing each lap for these drivers.
And as ever, the track is a living thing as Junt continues to close right onto the back of Verloy. Verloy's not got grip. That car does not look stable, the Kerno, and you can see it is on the exit of the stop and start corners. It just looks really unsettled, and Junt just has the car much more underneath him. And the last thing that Junt wants is a shunt, but he'll be able to negotiate Verloy quite quickly. Verloy going so super defensive and then cutting across to take his line. Wee bit cheekaroo, but that will have to do for the time being. And Junt getting a little bit impatient into turn 15, having a bit of a look, but it put Verloy off enough. It's so unusual to see people taking such an extreme line, and Verloy pops into the pits. Obviously the grip has gone for that car. Junt, though, has plenty of it still to go. It moves up into 10, and that I think will see him a net gain of 10th overall, as Adam Rouse will move up to 11 and Parker up to 12, and Parker has been in, so it's all shuffling out quite nicely as the laps unfold. We're on lap 37 now of 58. "12-second stop," says Mr. Cameraman Extraordinaire, Simon Melrush, who's always keeping us busy behind the scenes and providing you with all the eye candy, as Ben Warren pops in from 20th place. A very quiet afternoon after a bit of a shabby start for Ben Warren in the Woods Racing team. I think they were maybe hoping for a wee bit better, but no buts at all. Tom Parker in 12. There's points on the cards there. Points for the top 15, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct. It works in a similar sort of fashion as what the MotoGP standings do.
Ah, good call, good call. As Peter Casa is in from 6th place now, and that allows Tom van der Voort to keep his 5th. Paresis goes through, and Casa rejoins not too far behind him, but ahead of Jason Muscat, so he's got relative clear track ahead, although he's got lap test T's to get round. So that's worked out well for Casa, because now he's not got to battle with Muscat potentially, and he can focus on trying to reel in Tom van der Voort.
Yep, Lucas Oil is also pushing on now. He's gone the 10th quicker in the middle sector. He may be on to take the fastest lap of the race currently as he drives to the line. Carl Smith's already gone through. Does he take it? No. Oh, he lost quite a lot of time actually. He ended up being 25.2. Lost 4/10 to Carl Smith, who's done that 24.8 earlier in the race. So the gap between him is 6.3 seconds as Rude Heasterbeek's in pit lane from 3rd place.
Oh, he is in indeed. Warren and Bryson were side by side for 21st and 22nd. He used to be in and out quicker than you could. Well, I wouldn't want to pay for that by hour, because I think I'd feel a bit cheated. But he's out in 4th position. Teammate Tom coming down pit road and pit road. God, that was so NASCAR. It makes me sick. I'm going to go and get a bucket now. I've disgraced myself. Get those filthy words out. But Rude back out again ahead of his teammate, and Teamy unfortunately has yet to pit, so that really shows exactly how much of an advantage in this second third of the race that Rude has had over Tom.
Absolutely, and it looks like the clouds are starting to roll back in now as well, so will we this time expect rain?
Oh, please, please, I demand everyone in chat do a rain dance, get your moves out. It's
I think
all
you should
gonna
do
be
a tuba dance.
what dance?
A tuba, Brazilian tuba, rain dance.
The last time I done a Brazilian, it wasn't pretty, as Muscat was in from 10th position. Oh, coconuts. Yeah, Muscat now out behind Rouse for Halcyon, who moves up into 10th place. He's been quietly beavering away at the back there. Muscat rejoins right in front of Lucas
Oh,
Oerlo.
he
That
slowed
won't
him
help.
up as well. That's really bad for Lucas there.
Such bad luck, wasn't it? Because the pit exit is such a weird. You come on and you go across the racing line, and there's no dainty way of coming out of that pit lane, is there really? You just
Not
hit on
really.
it. So, Ben Warren left
Ben
the game.
Warren.
That was a disconnection. Yeah, he's been off my radar for a while. So that's retirement number 3 for Woods Racing. That's a shame. He was kicking around in the top 20.
Absolutely, it's a big shame for them because the Woods Racing guys have, they stopped development actually quite early on last season and saved a lot of their resources in preparation for the 2013 season, and they've bought a good upgrade package to Melbourne, but it's not really worked out for them, unfortunately. And I believe Ollie Woods is, I think he's still on his honeymoon at the moment, in fact, so he's disappointed when he comes back. So congratulations to Ollie, obviously, as well.
There's Boyd Bryson and Kieran Ryan both in the pits, and they're having. Oh dear, that didn't work out well. Work out how many laps your teammate is behind you before that comes in. So Bryson rejoins in what is 22nd position out of the 23 that are still running. Kieran Ryan was battling with Christoph Lichtenstein, and they were nose to tail as he came into the pits. So Lichtenstein should, in theory, get that. And actually, Jason Muscat, now that he's pitted and Tom Parker has pitted, Tom Parker is called right up onto the back of Muscat, so that's a net gain for Parker because there was a 5-second gap between them. Parker goes for it down into turn 3 and takes that. That was a right opportunistic move. Muscat straight side by side for a turn 4 contact between the two. Muscat gets all nosy-posy and gets back onto the track. Mine, Kieran Ryan. Poor Jason, he's just been abused there, but Tom Parker, opportunistic move down to turn 3 for 11th place. Works out well for him. That was obviously a racing cost. Yeah. On top of it. Definite completion something. But I thought you was waiting for me, mate. But yeah, we'll sort that out another day.
Absolutely, and Dave Carl-Smith still pushing on lap 39 here, and he's still, when did we expect him? Was it 22 km, so we're on about 44 next time we expect him in again?
Yeah, 44 to 46. In my not very mathematical, I will just do a random number moment as David Junt is into the pits, as is Miles Dixon, as is Adam Rouse. So 3 to crowd in the pits, thankfully they're not teams this time. And Boyd Bryson's back in again. So did he, I wonder if he done some kind of drive-through drama or something, because he's got all 4 wheels on his wagon. Yeah, drive-through penalty then for Boyd Bryson. And it's just not been his day at all.
Nope, just run through the field at the moment as well. It's only Dave Carl-Smith gets to make a second stop. Tom Vandervoort, second stop. Oh, as I say that, he just dived into pit lane. So, 5th place man, Vandervoort for Nijo Racing just dived into pit lane to make his second stop of the day. Jim Parisis for Torrent Motorsports, he is yet to make a second stop, whereas his teammate Peter Kassa has made a second stop. But the Voss looks like he's due in this lap potentially, because his pit request light has come on, and Jason Muscat has also made 2 stops at the moment. Tom Parker's also made 2 stops. He's in 9th place currently for Woods Racing.
So, alternate reality, you're out there in your little midnight motorsport car, tootling around, doing quite well, in the top 50 somewhere, and you're sitting on the grid. What strategy would you play?
Would I have played?
Yeah,
the same one as what the Midnight Boys are doing already at the moment.
Okay.
I would have gone options because it's the first race. We're not too sure what the situation is, and Lucas I think is on for a good time here if he's got that final sector right. Has he? No. Oh no, he lost. He lost a lot to Mark Johnson, I think, trying to lap him, and he was 2.5 tenths up in the middle sector, but he lost nearly 6 in the final sector alone there. So that's not really worked out for him. He's now got Mark Fuller in front, but he's got out of the way thankfully from the ST Racing team. But yeah, I would have run options first like Lucas has done. Dave always does something different. He has to be different at some point, doesn't he? So he won on the primes, and he's made them work. You can't take it away. And Lee, we've got to also remember, even though Lee's not in this race, Lee also was going to start on a prime compound, so it would have been a direct fight, in fact, to see them two on the prime compound at the start, and then get Lucas involved, and then obviously Alex has been option prime option also.
Yeah. So it's been a right little, I don't know, it's a little medley, a party bag of goodies. Strategy is such a fascinating behind
especially with the rain
scenes.
coming as well.
Yeah,
with the rain
yeah.
introduction, and it's getting darker again.
As Jim Paresis pops in from 6th position. Yeah, the rain, what are we on, lap 41? Plenty of time for a downpour. In fact, I do demand one, if that's alright everyone, as Paresis a little bit shoddy on the get-go. Out from there, it's like he had a little bit of a mini lunge forward, but he's well out, way clear of Tom Parker, who I wonder if he'll stop for a third time. It was only really him and Liechtenstein that stopped a little bit early. But if it times just well for when the rain comes, then I suppose that in effect negates the stop. I don't know how I would do strategy around here, as Kasser and DeVos are quite close, even though DeVos still has to pit from 7th in the Hawkeye car. Because having seen the previous 2 races where it was like, oh my god it's dry, oh my god it's wet, oh my god it's dry, oh my god it's wet, I would have probably gone for more stops in the theory that actually we are going to have the entire apocalypse of the world within 58 laps. But it's just not happened. So
it's
I've
not
been
happened
buggered.
yet, no. And Lucas was at the fastest lap of the race with the 24.8, and he's going to hit the sector beam again, and he's another 10th up on this lap as well. So Lucas wants this. He's chasing Dave Carr-Smith down. He's a 10th, 3/10 down in his own time, in fact. So it's very close between Lucas Oil and Dave Carr-Smith at the moment, as the clouds do start to draw in. We're on lap 42.
Mark Johnston has binned it. He is retired with suspension failure, unfortunately, and that is him out for Kerno Motorsport from what was 15th place he was, and that was binning it, I think, out of the fast chicane by the looks of it quite a way ago, because he's parked out just after it. Just going to have a quick replay to tell you exactly what did happen, because he appeared to have lived for a little while.
It would appear. So yeah, and we've got a pit request water coming for Lucas Oil. I don't think he'll be in just yet. Dave Carr-Smith's likely to be the first one to come in, I would have thought. Although I have no idea how long he can go into a stint and just how heavy that fuel is. This is another thing we've got to give credit for Dave Carr-Smith for, obviously, is the fact of how heavy that car must be to be running that deep into a race with the amount of fuel. There was some 22 laps worth of fuel he had on board there as well.
Crikey. Well, that was... I remember you saying, God, that was a long stop.
Yeah, most definitely. It was a very, very long stop, and it just goes to show how much more fuel he's put into the car. He's determined only to 2-stop this race, whereas everyone else around him looks to be doing in and around about 3 stops. And Lucas Oil is another 10th up on his fastest lap currently. And so we'll see if he decides to dive into pit lane. We're on, as I said, on lap 43 currently. Carr-Smith, I got a feeling, will try and navigate his way around Peter Kasser. That'll be fun for Kasser. Obviously, one of the least developed cars, but seeing Dave Carr-Smith come by him, he's usually competing against him in touring cars and GT cars. So, bit of a moment there for Kasser.
Yeah.
And Lucas does pit.
And Kasser does not let Dave Carr-Smith through straight away. Johnson binned it coming out of the final chicane. He actually had an engine to keep running with, but then parked it later on down the straight. So that was a bit more of an, I give up, feebleness. So that's a shame for Johnson, but we hope to see him back. Euler back out again, and Cooper is in.
Alex is in as well, yep. That's the same lap, whereas last time they were pitted a lap apart.
So
Lucas just had to get Ryan Bart DeVos there as well.
that was tighter than a virgin as they came out from that. Very, very close indeed. And DeVos actually taking to the grass to make sure that he lets him through. Those like scaring each other off the road as Heasterbeek does get out and past Cooper. So Cooper behind Heasterbeek.
In terms of strategy now, Lucas would have made his final stop of the day. Dave still needs to make his final stop of the day. He's been on the prime compound twice now, so he'll come back out on the option tyre with a 7-second advantage currently. So Dave Carr-Smith is having the drive of his life.
It has been an absolute premium platinum effort that has gone on for the Nordzone Racing Guide. 25.7 seconds is the gap. This is going to be so good if he can take this and pop into the pits keep the lead and come back out again, because at the moment he has got it. But then you kind of hedge your bets. Do I now come in now and limit it, or do I just push it a bit further? And especially with the clouds coming in, so many
Well, they've
variables.
gone away again now.
Come back! Come back! Oh. Next time, Gadget. It's got to happen.
Yep, Dave Carl Smith, well, what's the gap now? It's 28 seconds. This is going to work for Carl Smith at the moment. Looks like his request lights come on as well to dive into the pit lane, so it should be this lap that Carl Smith comes in on lap 45. An incredible run there he's been on once again. As Euler's going to try and close him down. He's already on the option compound, and Dave will have to move on to it. For the first time, may I point out as well, he's run double on prime tyres.
Yeah. Don't quite know what Mark Johnson is doing, chatting in the chat box, naughty boy. Remember, there is no... but at no point has Carl Smith had tyres that should be running at the same pace as the Midnight Motorsport guys. And I think that is a very key point to make. So, yeah, Carl Smith in.
Yep, race leader Dave Carl Smith dives into pit lane, and Lucas Euler is only just about to go into turn 13. So Euler goes into, he's obviously got to put more fuel, the fuel back into the car again, but the heavier fuel load, they've always gone into Lucas's, because Dave needs only a shorter stop this time round. The midnight stop is quicker than the Norwegian one. Now where is Lucas Euler? He's coming through the final corner, and Dave Carl Smith's already off the pit lane speed limiter. He's going into turn 1. So the gap is stayed exactly the same. It's 6.8 seconds.
Oh, toodles, says everyone, as he waves off into the distance. What an absolute masterclass of a drive this has been so far from Dave Carl Smith. Still 12 laps left to go. Anything could happen. And judging by those clouds, it really could. So don't take anything for granted, especially because Kieran Ryan's out there too. So anything can happen. This is going to be an absolutely fascinating conclusion, because now it is how fast can you really go? And 4.8
that's the scary
seconds.
thing, is Dave's only just gone onto the fastest tyre, and he's and now he can go and prove just how fast he really can go.
4.8 the gap then currently between Carl Smith and Euler, as Carl Smith will obviously take a lap or two to get his tyres up to temperature. Obviously, by doing it this way, there's more grip down, obviously, on the track itself.
The only thing about it, obviously, the ambient and the track temperature would have gone down slightly, but obviously on the softer compounds, the grip should come to him eventually. Nevertheless, it's ebbing and flowing a little bit at the moment. Carl Smith's able to hold 5.6 second advantage currently.
Tom Parker, 11th position, now 12th, has just been off the track. Adam Rouse dives through for Halcyon Racing. Copa goes round whilst he laps him. Steve Verloy is now trying to go round the outside of Tom Parker and takes 12th place. Tom Parker drops down to 13th. A real shame. He was under pressure from Adam Rouse, and that did not go to plan for the Woods Racing guys. Straight back into the slipstream of Verloy. He's going to have a go down into turn 14. Side by side, are they going to go? No, they do not. Tom Parker backs out of it, as he has been doing for quite a lot of the afternoon, and lives to fight another day. But I don't think that one's over yet, because Parker was running in 9th place earlier on. Verloy was running in 10th. And they've just been slowly but surely shuffled down, because DeVos has got round them, Junt's got round them, and now Rouse has too. And these two have been magnetic with each other, but just going backwards ever so slowly. Poor guys.
Mention also here for a Ruud Heespeaker, the Nidra racing car. He's starting the option compound tyre with his teammate Tom van der Voort. He's on the prime compound now, and he's 9.8 seconds in front of Alex Cooper.
They're off! Sorry to cut across you. Verloy and Parker, contact down at turn 3. Parker's in the gravel. Let me just take a look at that again. Verloy was a wee bit... Oh no, it was Parker just smacks the back of Verloy. Verloy's done nothing wrong. Parker's blamed for that one, unfortunately. Somehow got a front wing still. It was just a nudge that was enough to send them both off.
I've just been informed though, Simon, by Scott Bennett, that apparently Tom's actually got a problem, but you have no idea what it is.
Oh.
He said that he's got a problem with, I don't know if it's car or wheel or what the situation is, but apparently he's got a problem, but they have no idea what it is. Tom has no idea what is going on at the moment.
Wow.
So thank you to Scott Bennett for that, but we have no idea what just happened to Tom Parker's car.
Oh, that's such a shame because he was running in ninth and really going on for some big points. He can still limp it home and get some points from this if he can just keep the car under control. But yeah, he's going to have a fighting battle because now Verloy is pulling away, Rouse is through, Junt's through, Muscat is stayed ahead, and Voss still in 8th place. Bart de Vos came in on lap 42, so that is a net gain. He got round Muscat in all of that, so that is very worthwhile pointing out. And still, Ruud Heesterbeek, he last pitted on lap 37. I don't think he's going to be coming back in again. Cooper's going to have to go round him on track, but he is some 9 seconds behind and not particularly catching.
Not at the moment, unfortunately, and I've just been watching Parker on board after Scott Bennett informed me that, and I think what the problem is for Tom Parker, his brakes are failing.
Wow.
I think he's actually suffering with brake failure here, so thank you for Scott for pointing it out, but it would appear that Tom Parker is suffering with potential brake failure here. Wow, yes, definitely. Now he's basically going straight on and locking up because he can't get the car completely stopped. So that's what the Woods racing car is currently suffering with. It looks like it's going to be brake failure on lap 49.
That's not good because Redshaw's right up behind him next, and that's the last thing he needs to pressure. He moves right out of the way. I think he's coasting now. I wonder if he's going to pull over and retire, or if he's just going to try and limp it round, because there's still points potentially to be had, because Kieran Ryan is best part of an entire lap behind him, and he's the 16th placed man that would come and take his point. So if he can just limp it for these last few laps and be sensible, there may be a point in the bag for the Woods Racing guys, and that would be a nice little prezzy for Ollie for when he gets back from his honey days.
Just a quick little pointer here, so I'm sorry. Lucas Euler is running quicker than Dave Carr-Smith. It's down to 4.4 seconds.
Ooh.
Lucas only lost a tenth in the first sector, where Dave lost 4 tenths. We're coming up to the second split now. 7 tenths lost for Dave Carr-Smith. What's Lucas Euler at? 2 tenths, so he's still running quicker. Lucas Oil is definitely running quicker on the option compound tyres than what Dave Carr-Smith is.
3.9 the gap is now.
Now these tyres should come back towards Dave later in the stint, because that's what's happened with the prime tyres. It may happen again with the option tyres, but the option tyres definitely work at the moment better on the midnight.
Well, Parker off down at turn 3. Let's hope he doesn't collect anyone whilst he's being lapped.
1.4 Dave lost, and Lucas 6 tenths. So it's down to exactly 4 seconds.
Crumalicious. This is really, really heating up nicely for an absolute grandstand finish. It's been simmering away, hasn't it? And we've not really had wheel-to-wheel stuff between the top guys. It's all been from third further down. And wow, we are in for a potential of a grandstand finish if this kicks going. Wanting to place any bets?
No, because I don't like seeing this for Lucas. But Jim Priest has just gone off in front of Dave Carr-Smith. They got it all sorted out. Dave only lost 2 tenths in that first sector. Lucas only lost 1. So Lucas is still slightly quicker at the moment, but Dave's starting to get it all sorted out by the looks of it.
They've got Parousis between them as well. Only the top 6 on the lead lap. Casa is just coming into turn 14 now, so he's got the potential to still be lapped, although he's doing quite well in an underdeveloped car to do so well. In fact, both the guys are. But
Both Torrent guys have done outstanding work.
Yeah. So it's a good platform to know that if you can get your car up that high, as Tom Vandervoort gets it all wrong down at turn 3, but has survived just about in 5th place. Yeah, some great unsung heroes up and down the field, I think. But what's the gap now? 3.3 between Carr-Smith and Euler, and as they come across the line, man on the scores on the doors.
4 tenths lost for Carr-Smith, 5 tenths for Lucas Euler. So Carr-Smith actually beaten by a tenth that lap.
Yeah, the gap's back up to 3.7. I think it's just gonna yo-yo around.
Dark clouds again.
What's the bet? In 2 to go, it starts to absolutely team.
Well, we had this in Super Cup actually yesterday. It started raining on the very last lap for James Shepherd.
Yes, it did, didn't it? I had heart in mouth moment when that one came on.
That was quite a moment, and it rained really, really hard as well for a period of time.
Yes. I'm so excited for GPVWC for 2013. To coin a phrase from a certain Martin Brundle, I'm loving this new GPVWC. That's the most cliche, horrible commentator moment ever to be repeated.
Luke's
constantly.
just gone the fastest through the middle sector there as well, where Dave lost half a second. So Lucas Oil is flying on these option compounds at the moment. It's down to 3.3. 3.2 is the gap, in fact, now. David Gaspers, unfortunately, is retired from the race for the Green Stripes Racing team.
He's binned it, he's crashed out, so not good end for him from what was 19th position. Get a replay of that to tell you where he went off.
So it was a 25.5 for Dave. It's a 25.0 for Lucas. That was half a second quicker.
Oh, it's all going on. Gaspers was running wide out of the final chicane and then smacking one barrier
We've
and
lost
then
Mark
the other.
Fuller now as well, unfortunately.
And Fuller is a disconnection by the looks of it, sadly. From last, he was 4 laps down, so it wasn't going to be a grand day. But yeah, dropping like flies in the final furlong. What's it going on now? Dave Carr-Smith up to lap David Stanton, and Stanton has been more than obliging to get out of the way, but how does he feel now? Yeah, well out of the way. Good job there, David.
Lucas has just gone faster than Sector 1 as well, where Dave was 0.2 off.
2.9 the gap. Tell you what, get yourself some snacks. In fact, get yourself some snacks only if they're within the
3
vicinity.
tenths quicker in the middle sector is Lucas.
Woohoo! It's coming! It's coming! It's like the end of the world. Lions all over again. But Euler versus Carr-Smith. I can see in the chat room as Stanton gets it all wrong out behind Lucas Euler, keeps it out of the wall. Even the chat room are screaming, hold on Dave, here comes Euler. Everyone's getting behind this battle. It's going to be an absolute grandstand finish, isn't it?
It really is, and Carr-Smith goes across the line. He did a 25.1 that time, 25.0 for Lucas. He lost time in the final sector.
Yeah, I think that was
Back
trying
out
to
to
get round.
3.3. But Lucas is pushing so hard. He's won so much AstroTurf in turn 1 there. He was nearly, I swear, he actually was nearly in 4th gear. He took so much speed through turn 1 there.
I tell you what, he's thrown caution to the wind. Just looking up the road, still Petakasa is the next car up the road to be lapped. So it's going to be
Dave's
a wee
quickest in
while.
sector 1. Sorry, Dave's just gone quickest in sector 1 now. And now Lucas has. That's unbelievable.
I tell you what, 3.1 the gap. It is coming down. It is coming down. So yeah, all we need a little dribble of rain, a little dribble, a little drizzle. I don't want people to change tyres. I want them to cope and have to cope with it all the way to the flag.
Dave lost time in the middle sector, but Lucas was 3 tenths quicker.
So close. Everyone else still going on quite well. We're down to 20 runners and riders. Miles Dixon the last of them, 4 down. It is touch and go. 2.8 now the gap I've got between Carr-Smith and Euler as we go from sector to sector, and Euler looking much better down the straight. And this is going to be pretty much it for back marker traffic now until the very end. There's a massive gaggle of cars a little bit further round.
24.7, he's done the fastest lap of the race. Sorry, Simon, he's done the fastest lap of the race there for Lucas Euler. The only person that I think they've got is Petakasa, like you said. That will be the last one. It's down to 2.7 seconds between Euler and Carr-Smith. 4 to go.
2.7 then we've got, and Euler, that car looking so cement. It looks cemented to the floor, doesn't it? It's like it doesn't even ripple. I mean, Carr-Smith's equally looking grounded. It's going to be so close to call.
It really is. It's down to 2.8 seconds, and Carr-Smith did his personal best and the fastest in sector 1, and then Lucas went and beat it again. So they're basically trading times at the moment as Carr-Smith comes towards the next sector 2 beam. What's that? He's 2 tenths down, but he's improved on his own time, and Lucas is 2 tenths quicker.
It's a coming, just off your screen. Still battles kicking off up and down the field. 11, 12, 13, Rouse, Verloy and Redshaw. Verloy and Redshaw are side by side coming out of turn 1 because Verloy went in deep. Redshaw's going to have a go at him down into turn 3, and he's going down the outside. If he's going to pull that off, that'll be a mean move. Verloy holds him off. Redshaw's going to stick on the inside for turn 4, but no, backs out of it, and that will be that for the time being. So it's still all kicking off behind the scenes. 2.5 now the gap between Carr-Smith and Euler.
Yeah, only tenth split on that lap, but Euler's definitely pushing. And who they got? That's Peter Castle that's coming up for Carl Smith there. He's making it difficult for him, and Carl Smith's had to go right to the very inside of the track there, where Carl Smith's got the Lucas has got the outside sweeping line. He's lost quite a lot of time there, did Dave, getting past Petter. It's down to 2.1 seconds, 1.9. So what was the gap there? Dave went through at 7 tenths he lost in sector 1, and Lucas was the fastest sector 1.
It is all to play for. Euler now going to have to negotiate Cass up. I don't think he's going to be the one that will jump out of the way. Isn't there a bit of history between these two, or am I just making
Lucas
up
is going to catch him just at the wrong point, is he? Oh, he's 2 tenths quicker again in the middle sector, and he's got just about a run. As long as Petter pulls to the left and lets him go, he should do. He has done, but he's not made it very easy once again. So Lucas will lose time there. He has done. He's up to 2.4. So Petter really was not making that easy for them.
He was not indeed. Well, those two have had a long history of sim racing together. Maybe that plays a part. I'm sure it does when you're out on track.
Lucas was out to the wall there.
Redshaw's got round Verloy for 12 and 13 whilst that's going on. So it is all getting on. I think you can sense a potential victory at stake there, Teamy boss. And that is
I can. This is getting hard to watch.
Timu, for you. Not fun. But no, Carl Smith still clinging on by the skin of his little teethy pegs. Euler second, running down the field just while we're watching this. Heesterbeek third, Cooper 4. Tom Vandervoort is off the track in 5th position. Is he retiring? I think he is. Tom Vandervoort for Nijo Racing has binned it somewhere. No, that's a blown engine.
Blown engine, yeah.
Bing bang bong, out for Nijo. What a disaster for the beautiful cucumbers. Out from 5th position. That's going to put Petter to 6, Parisis to 7, Voss to 8, Muscat 9, Junt 10, Redshaw 11, Rouse 12. Them two are coming out from turn 16 very close together. Verloy, Liechtenstein, Kieran Ryan, Mark Stanton, David Stanton, and Tom Parker has retired as well and is also out with his brakes. He gave up. We'll have him in the chat box after the race to explain what happened. But that is another retirement. And we're under 2 seconds, the gap. And look at that, you can see Euler's got Carl Smith, and they're in the same screen.
Carl Smith, they're on to the final lap, 25-1, 24-7, fastest lap of the race for Lucas Euler there.
I don't think he's got enough time to do it. We're running out of laps.
I don't think he has either, but my God, what a lap that was. It's 1.7 seconds and on to the final lap.
There is one person who may fly a spoil in the eye. It's Boyd Bryson, because he has been off the road and is now about to be lapped. And depending what Boyd Bryson does, could well be the last fly in the ointment for Dave Carl Smith as they come round into turn 6 and 7. No, Bryson's in brake trouble, goes off and avoids everything, and that is actually a decent pass there for Carl Smith, because Euler is going to be stuck slightly behind. No, he was well out of the way.
He was fastest in sector 1 then, Lucas, once again, where Dave basically matched it. It's at 1.6 seconds. It's not going to be enough, is it?
It isn't. It's all a wee bit too late, unfortunately, for them.
3 tenths faster in the middle sector.
I think you're going to need a wet wipe, my friend. Second place. You are going, well, get a bridesmaid's costume, because I think Dave is going to be full-on bride with a shelf and everything. It has been an absolutely magical, majestical, strategically gunning stunt of a drive for Dave Carl Smith as he comes flying out of the final corner, and he will win as Kieran Ryan explodes in flames in front. But you cannot dampen the fireworks of Dave Carl Smith that takes the victory for the IP Forge Australian Grand Prix here at GPVWC Super League. Second, a valiant second, but just slightly outfoxed by the foxy feline that is Carl Smith. Lucas Euler for Simcraft Midnight Motorsports. Third will be, and is, Ruud Heesterbeek, who's coming round.
It will be soon, but he's short shifting. I think he's very, very low on fuel.
He is indeed. 10 seconds he's got over Cooper.
He did the fastest middle sector, and now he's short shifting it all the way around the final corner, so...
Oops.
Yeah, he's coming out the final corner. He just needs to go a little bit quicker, and he's going to get across the line. He will.
Fantastic.
He does. There we go. He's got 3rd place. Well done to Nijo Racing and to Ruud Heesterbeek. Alex Cooper, awesome job on his first race. Well, no, second actually from last year. But His first race of the season into Midnight Motorsport, 4th place for the man. And Lucas, he was so close, so close. But Dave Carr-Smith, as you said, majestic drive, absolutely majestic drive.
Indeed. It is like poetry in a bitmap. 5th then, and 1 lap down, Petter Kassa for Torrent Motorsports, beating home teammate John Parisis by a second. Not quite sure how that one happened, because they were well apart early on. Bart de Vos, foxy feline up to 7th. That was all strategy, that one. Great stuff. Then the Red Archers, Jason Muscat ended up 8th after his misdemeanour, and David Junt quietly up the field to 9th, ahead of Lewis Redshaw, who got round Adam Rouse on the penultimate lap for 10th position. Adam Rouse drops down to 11th for such an unfortunate end for him. Steve Verley grabs 12th. Christoph Lichtenstein is 13th. Mark Stanton will grab 14th. And Tom Vandervoort will grab 15th, owing to the fact that even though he retired, he actually got more laps in than the rest behind. David Stanton then 16th, out of the points for Constant, 3 laps down. Kieran Ryan 17th for Phoenix, despite blowing up and being pushed over the line. Boyd Bryson 18th in the second of the Phoenixes, 4 laps adrift, as was Miles Dixon, our last finisher, in classification of 19th place for ST. Our retirements: Tom Parker, brake failure / crash, all of sundry. David Gaspers binned it out of the fast chicane. Mark Fuller, disconnection on lap 46. Gaspers was out on 48, by the way. Mark Johnston for Kerno, suspension failure out of the final corner, bending it into the wall for Kerno. Ben Warren, disconnected on lap 35. Philip Cullen out very early on lap 3 for Halcyon. And Lee Morris barely got out of the starting gates before he was bundled into retirement for North Zone. Wow. What a race, Nick.
An awesome race, an absolutely awesome race to watch that. What a start to the GPVWC Super League 2013 season.
Are you not ready to go for round 2 already?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I tell you what, I'm bringing snacks, I'm bringing beers, I'm bringing a sleeping bag. I'm not going to bed. It's going to be one of those all-night parties, I can tell. Driver of the day for you.
At qualifying, I wasn't too sure how Dave would perform, but it's got to be Dave Carr-Smith for what he's just performed there. Really awesome job. Yeah, no, I hear you. Driver of the day for me too, Dave Carr-Smith. Moose Award of the race, unfortunately for me, will go to, well, let's say Boyd Bryson, because I saw him off quite a lot, but he did make it home, which was good. So yeah, Moose of the Award goes to you, unfortunately. And lucky pick, I will also give a shout out to Ruud Heesterbeek, who unwittingly found himself on the podium there and done a rather spectacular job, albeit a bit behind the scenes. So we're just getting some interviews ready here for some of our favourite drivers. There's been some on-screen chat. I'm just looking through. Everyone just giving everyone nice congratulations, actually. So everyone having fun. Tom Parker apologising to Steve. So yeah, great to see everyone just interacting and having a quick little nose through. So where are we off to next? I believe it will be Malaysia, won't it? It will indeed.
What date have we got that? It will be 14th.
Yes.
14th of March. Excellent. Looking forward to that. Don't forget, book it in your calendars. We'll have the Formula Challenge on Tuesday. Then we will have the
Super Cup.
Thank you. Brain fade on the Wednesday, which of course is led by your gentlemanly like self, Nick.
It most certainly is.
And then you can all be downgraded to a bit of filth with me on the Thursday. So yeah, come and join in. I tell you what, it has been an absolute fantastic week of entertainment. Actually, it's not very often that I purposely stayed away from dealing with sim racing over the winter season, because you know when they say you can't have too much of a good thing, and then I dive into a chocolate fountain and say, "Prove me wrong, bitches." It just, yeah, I came away from everything, and when you come back to something for a new season, you see it with fresh eyes again, and you just think, yeah, do you know what? This is awesome. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be part of GPVWC and everything that's going on. So, who have we got in the old chatteroo box? I spy a winner. Is that Dave Carr Smith in there? Oh ye holy winner. Congratulations.
Thank you. Very unexpected, but I'm not going to complain.
I should think not after a drive like that, mister. Talk us through it, because that wasn't an easy one, and you did literally have to play out strategically and come from behind.
I think the weather was the main concern for everybody. We really expected it to come at some point, so I just decided to go for the primes. They felt really good on a long run. The track temperature was high. They worked really well, so much so I kept them off for the second stint, which would appear gave me the edge over Lucas. A little bit surprised it didn't rain, but again, can't complain. It worked out okay.
And yeah, obviously, fantastic pace in the car, fantastic pace in yourself. Sets you up well for the rest of the season, surely.
I think it's too early to say anything like that. I know Midnight will get a lot better. They struggled today for some reason. I'm sure they'll figure that out for next time. And the strategy played to our hands, so it'll certainly be a tough season, but it's a perfect way to start it.
Mick, my good man?
Oh, well, Dave, I've got to say that was an unbelievable race to watch, my friend. To go double on primes, I was a little bit surprised. I wasn't expecting you to do it, but we've seen last season how you made the harder compound tyres seem to work. You just seem to have a knack and ability to get these things to work, and you've done it again today. Obviously, Lee looked like he was going for the same strategy as you as well. Did you see much of what happened at the start, and also, do you think he would have been a bigger threat throughout the race?
Without doubt. I think he had the edge on me over a distance. How much, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he had the edge. I'm not sure what happened on the start. I heard there was an incident with one of the Nijos and him. But yeah, hopefully next time out he'll have a bit more luck on that front.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an unbelievable stint you put in it. I think it was some 22 laps. So that, and when you stopped again, we were surprised at how long the stop was. But the amount of fuel you must have taken in both stints, I thought that would have compromised you and burnt the tyres, if anything, quicker, especially at the rear of the car. But it wasn't to be.
I think the stop length was more down to the pit crew we've got this year. Unfortunately, ours takes a little bit longer than our rivals, such as Midnight. But the tyres were amazing. They just didn't drop off at all. And as you saw at the end of the first stint, I was able to match Lucas's pace from the options. Given the track temperature, it was an easy decision.
Well, an outstanding drive, mate. That really was something very special to watch, and thoroughly deserved there. And it's seen Norwegian back up at the top as well.
Yeah, I'm really happy to do this for Will. Our first race for the team. It's a shame leading at the same result.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations once again, and I think we've got second place man Lucas here as well, Simon.
We have indeed. We've got a whole little shindig going on. Lucas, congratulations on an excellent second position. You were looking rather masterful the first half of the race, and then it just sort of fell into Dave's hands, as it were. So talk us through it, because it must have been really interesting from you to kind of have, I don't know, the roles flipped, as it were.
Yeah, it's quite interesting compared to last season as well, because this race was basically the other way around. I had a great start, and from then on it went downhill, whereas last year my starts weren't so great, but the races were good. I'm not happy at all, not because Dave won, something like that. He deserved it. He was clearly the fastest driver who was out there after lap 1. I'm just not happy with my own pace. especially in the second and third stint, I somehow struggled to get the tires to work the way I like it. So it's not that bad because we struggled a bit before, so we knew it would be a close race. So we just keep on improving, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. If it's so close, it's always fun.
Absolutely, it's a joy for us to watch. It's probably a joy for you guys to drive as well. I mean, if you're saying that you're not happy with your own pace and performance, yet you're only just the mere 1.6 seconds off the winner's pace, oh dear, I'd have a wet dream if that happens to me. It would. Where do you go and then deconstruct where the race was lost for you or where the pace was lost for you? How do you go and reevaluate what this race was so that you can learn from it going forward?
Well, I know how the car felt during the race, so I know what to work on. But we have a great team with James on board, so we should be able to figure it out quite soon. Hopefully before the next Grand Prix, and look forward.
Yeah, Luke, it was awesome to watch at the start. That was a great start, and the amount of time you were able to put in on the option, on the option compound it was, and it was only really the second and third ones that sort of let you down a bit. That both you and Alex, I noticed in terms of pace, you weren't able to match the same times, but even though you were on the fresher tires, any idea what that potentially could have been?
No, I really have no idea, because the tire, the track temperatures stayed about the same. So I mean, on the prime tires, you struggle the first laps to get them onto temperatures. At the end of the second stint, it was actually quite good, and I thought about switching to a two-stopper with another prime stint and just fuel it up, because at the end of the stint, the prime tires felt better than the option. I didn't do it. I don't know if I could have matched Dave after that, because my second stint was not that great. I lost a lot of time, especially in the opening laps.
Well, nevertheless, it's awesome the fact you've come home in second place, and obviously Alex coming home in fourth as well. So it's been a good start for us. I'll take it for tonight. So onwards and upwards for Malaysia.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much to Dave Cosliff and Lucas Weiler for popping in. Our 1-2. Obviously, Rude felt that he would live up to his name and not join. So never mind. But it's been an absolute privilege to watch. Any final words, Nick, before we sign off for the evening?
I think it's just been a fantastic evening. It's a shame we didn't get the rain. I think that would have really thrown a spanner in the works. But nevertheless, I think it's been a wonderful evening of racing, and I think it set the season up perfectly.
Absolutely. And do you know what? We can wait for round 2 for rain. We had enough thrown at us tonight to be intrigued and interested in, I think. So, right. Well, that leaves me to wrap up the broadcast. It's been fantastic to interact with you all via Twitter, Facebook, and the chat room on gpvwc.com. Obviously, my personal thanks to Nick Rowland for joining us. It's been a pleasure, Nick.
Yep, and with yourself, mate. That was an excellent evening.
And thank you very much to Simon Melhuish, who is as ever the silent assassin behind the cameras, always bringing you the eye candy bitrate by bitrate. And without him, we would be, well, quite frankly, buggered. If you fancy joining up and you've seen that display and you think, do you know what, I want a piece of that pie, and what a juicy, jammy pie it is, pop yourself over to gpvwc.com, sign yourselves up, get yourselves on the forum with your real name, and go absolutely nuts on the driver market. We would love to have you as a part of our community, and we will be back live for round 2 at that good old Malaysian circuit. The races kick off with Formula Challenge on the 12th of March, then the Super Cup on the 13th, and then we'll be back with you on the 14th of March. You lot all take care. Thank you very much to IP Forge for sponsoring tonight's broadcast and event, and look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time. Don't be naughty. Bye for now.